When we think of the universe and all that it is, we envision a limitless, vast, expansive, and endless space. But do we ever consider ourselves an expression of that vastness? Do we consider our own growth and challenges as they incur? Are we aware of it consciously? Do we realize that everything that is physical was created by our thoughts? We grow from our own expanded awareness. In other words, I am a soul of expanded awareness. How do we open ourselves up for greater expansion? In what way can we encourage our own growth? For some of us, we understand that we are always connected to the source of the universe, and that we are supported by our ancestors, guides, and central sun, as well as the love of the universe. We take responsibility for our experience, and we understand that life is happening for us and not to us. It shifts our paradigm. This is the law of attraction, and the thoughts we think of, positively or negatively, manifest those energies and outcomes into our lives. As a physical being, our experiences are being viewed from our own unique point of view and no one else's. When we listen and observe, we see outdated patterns and old ways of thinking that don't serve us anymore. We can then gain control over our thoughts and words and then create the opportunity to adjust them, hence expanding them exponentially. Being open to change and making the conscious decision to do so can be a difficult task. But just as anything worth our effort, if we put the time and energy into our own changes, then we become the change we seek. All right. Welcome to Andromeda 7, your celestial gateway. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have an enlightening show for you about how we grow from expansion. And before we get started, everyone, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. The algorithms love it, and we do too. Welcome, new subscribers. Thank you very much. We greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Now let's welcome our panel and greet our chat room participants. And tonight we have Teresa DeAnton with us, Sophia Rasmussen, Dalibor M. Suki, and Grandpa Brian. It's good to have you guys back. Hope you enjoyed the holidays. I sure did. Got a lot of rest and enjoyed my family, so I hope you all did as well.
Yep, we certainly did. I certainly did.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, real quick, let's just check the chat room and then we'll get right into it. Hi, Lee. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming. Let's see. Chloe, good to see you as well. Hi, Steve. Steve, good to see you. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. That's so awesome. Well, as people roll in, we'll go ahead and get started. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of us don't really think about the universe. We're so busy having our own little experience here. We're just down here experiencing all the 3D-ness, our physicalness. We really don't think about consciousness and how expansive it really is. And in my mind, consciousness is the fabric of the universe, and the heart is the gateway to it. And I think skepticism is a chance to just explore that by following the breadcrumbs, so to speak. So your beliefs can shift and grow and change and move. I know ours has, Teresa. In the last couple of years, we've really discovered a lot of amazing things. But to know that the universe is really supporting us, loving us, guiding us, and there for us, even if you don't think you're connected, you are. And even if you're not having good changes in your life, and they can be hard and negative,
But just as the good changes are always good, negative changes really catapult us and are the catalyst for more growth, in my humble opinion. Anyway, Teresa, anything you'd like
Yes.
to? I'm going to pass it over to you. Got us started, and I know you had something you'd like to talk about.
Well, I just wanted to give a kickoff to 2024
Okay.
by acknowledging something. It came to me when I was going through some of my notes, and this is organic, folks. I didn't prepare anything, but since we're talking about expansion tonight and how expansion helps us grow,
Mm-hmm.
speaking as a community through the A7 program, we've been through different cycles of growth and
Mm-hmm.
expansion ourselves as a program.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes every panelist we've ever had on here, every guest.
Mm-hmm.
And I, for one, personally have expanded exponentially since the beginning of this program. And in
Mm-hmm.
particular with this panel. And I think what it's about can best be, there are many ways and we'll discuss that tonight, that we expand. But it's I finally understand what mirroring is all about. And it's through you all. Because I see you through a different lens, and what I see are aspects of myself that I would like to very much be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see aspects that are reflected back at me of what I am.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see, so it's like looking at my true parts of my true higher self are reflected in each and every one of you. Like Sophia, I'm deeply attracted to your honesty. You're just right out there with what you think and how you
I
feel. And you
love
don't
that.
take any,
It's right
and
between
it's
the
a
eyes.
part
There's
of
no
me.
sugarcoating.
It's a part of me that I have suppressed because I've always been felt that I would be judged one way or the other because my mother was very much that way, outspoken. But it's your genuineness that brings that to the table, and it's done in a cute, attractive way too. Not in a hurtful, harmful way. Brian, I see in you aspects of that quiet peacefulness, that patient observer that I wish to be myself, that I find in myself at times. But I would really like to have more of that. And so you reflect that back to me, and it puts me at ease and it gives me comfort, whether you say something or you don't. Sometimes you're just quiet. Sometimes you pitch in, and when you do, such beauty comes from you. Such truth
Thank you.
comes from you, and it changes my perception. Dalibor, you are sometimes the opposite of me, but you're the technical, logical side that I see in me because I too come from an information systems background. And so I can relate to you on the science issues. So you reflect that back to me, which is that knowledge and wisdom that comes from being open and experimental and not closed into a box and setting boundaries around myself so that I can't grow from something new and different. And
Yeah,
Lori,
I'm
it's your
always willing
spirit
to put
for,
everything to the test.
Mm-hmm.
yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what and I see that in myself. And sometimes I've been judged by that, or I've been too harsh on myself because I put too many parameters around me, but you do it with such grace.
That's what
You
a
do
good
it with a level
scientist
of
does.
comfort.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Thanks.
so you bring out that better part of that within me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about, oh, they like burgers and I do too. Or Sophia likes chocolate and so do I. It
Yes,
goes
I
much
do.
deeper than it just goes deeper than those synchronicities, which are
Mm-hmm.
important also. But it's the mirroring of one another. It's the oneness. And in the oneness, our higher self can learn from that and grow from that and expand from that. And that's what this panel does. And it's what A7 has evolved into over the years because we tried different things and we've had different
Mm-hmm.
people come on. We've talked about, but if you've noticed, Lori has carefully crafted the approach to these shows in the past year or so, with more of an emphasis on higher mind, which is what we started out with the understanding we would have in this program, not just the show and tell. This is what I sell. This is my talent. This is my gift.
Mm-hmm.
Sign up for readings. it goes beyond that. It's those personal stories that we're getting back to and experiences where we can share how we're connecting in both a conscious physical reality and virtual world that we've created here, as well as the non-physical, and that connection and balance between the two, that Lori has helped bring that focus. And we're going to see more of that in 2024. We're going to go deeper, and we're going to go to levels that might trigger people. We're going to go to levels
Haven't
that
already.
really sync. If you haven't already,
Where's the
or
chocolate?
you might sync with it. You might go, "I'm so glad they talked about this."
Yeah.
Because
Or
we
you'll
hope,
say, I don't need this shit. I'm beyond all this. Well, no
yeah,
problem. It's all good.
It's not meant for everybody.
No, it isn't.
yeah,
No, it isn't.
it's a journey that's not everybody. It's not for everybody, and
Mm-mm.
but yet we open it to everybody because
True.
it's our hope that by making it available and sharing our stories, it's not to convince you of anything. It's not to tell you what to do or how to act. And the folks in our chat room that have hung in there with us, that are in this with us week after week, including all of our new members who have joined us, they bring something to the table too. So if you get a chance to interact with those folks in the chat room, you will find very much that mirrored reflection going on at a very deep level.
A lot of wisdom
And
in
so
there too.
a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we thank you too. And we love and appreciate all of our panelists, our guests, and our chat room participants, our moderators, because you're all reflecting that energy back. And through that, not only are you helping each other not only are you expanding yourself, but you're expanding everyone else. And that raises the vibrations for a higher mind and consciousness for humanity itself. So it
That's right.
serves a higher purpose. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going to bounce. Speaking of which, I'm going to bounce this over to Lori, who's going to kick off the year with something that's come to her personally during the past few weeks, and I think it's a great topic because it's right on with where we want to go in 2024. Go ahead, Lori.
Yeah, before we do that, I just wanted to say when back in, I believe it was 2020, we started this channel. I didn't have very much understanding about how to run a show like this. I've actually learned and grown through all of this. I didn't even know how to put this on YouTube at the time. So I'm really proud of how much I've grown and I've learned, and I understand how it works. So that's my expansion on the show. So there you go. Yeah, so I'm just curious, and I'm going to start with Sophia tonight. How does the universe kind of aid and assist you? What do you get from the universe?
I get love,
Mhm.
support, knowledge, enlightenment. It's been a connection. Because when I was little, like I've said in previous shows, I thought everybody could do what I could do. But for a while, the source was my only true friend. And that's not the case anymore, I'm blessed to say. But as far as how we grow from expansion, I was jotting a couple things down here. And it's when I go through tribulation and and I'm out of my comfort zone, because I don't have to be in tribulation to be out of my comfort zone, but that's what came to mind. But when you're purposeful to throw your shoulder into it, ask for help, do the meditation, do the self-care, when you do the deal, it's maintenance. It's just like a Ferrari. You don't put cheap oil in a Ferrari. So energetically, if you fire on more than cylinders than normal, it comes with maintenance. And that's how I expand, by doing my part, staying healthy, and contributing to humanity, and not being self-centered, and be balanced. Because I feel it's easy to be selfish.
Sure.
You have to purpose to put others before yourself. And when I started doing that, my life changed quickly. But
Yeah.
let's see, I got one other little
Sure.
thing.
Go right ahead.
And another way that I grow from expansion is going outside because I feel that the gods and the powers that be that I resonate with are louder when I'm outside. So it's more variety for spirit to use, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I have on that so far.
Awesome.
Good to
I
see
love it.
everybody.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. So for me, there's selfish and self first are two different things.
Mhm.
You can be selfish, which is completely different from self first, thinking of yourself first, that self development, because no one else can do that for you except you. And when you place that priority on it, that's what really gets it for you. Okay.
Mhm.
Dalibor, what's
Well,
your definition?
well, the universe is basically a reflection of your consciousness, and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa.
Mm-hmm.
Your consciousness is a reflection of your individuated perception of everything that is. And the way you move forward is by testing various aspects of your reality and expanding beyond what you normally would experience by, reading different articles, reading different materials, watching different videos, exploring different trains of thought, and developing yourself that way. Because if you just concentrate on what's comfortable for you, you're
Mm-hmm.
never really going to expand out of that. You're
Mm-hmm.
just going to, if I never expanded for my 12-year-old self, I'd still be like a 12-year-old at heart, and I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
So you want to feed your mind, and
feed
feeding
your
your
mind.
mind with
Yes.
new experiences,
Hmm.
new concepts,
Yep.
stretching those beliefs.
And sometimes manifesting those desires that you have. Like, for example, like my whole life, I wanted to see the pyramids of Egypt, and I got to do that in 2013.
That's
And I'm
awesome.
Amazing.
extremely grateful that
Right.
I did that, because I've, all my life I've also done experiments on pyramid models, doing the various experiments with, the seeds, water, electromagnetics, mechanical devices, and stuff like that. So, that was kind of a tie-in with like a lifetime of interest in that particular subject matter.
Hmm. Fascinating. Fascinating. Lucky Stone says yourself taking yourself first without taking advantage of others is a true compassionate act. You cannot help anyone if you are not whole. Yeah, I mean, it's like being on a plane. Those oxygen masks come down. You put that on yourself first before you do anybody else. Because if you fall unconscious, you're done. So, yeah, self preservation, but with
Mhm.
compassion and kindness and with love in your heart, there's nothing you can't accomplish.
Right.
Yep, no doubt. How about you, Grandpa Brian? What is your definition of expansion?
Well, with the universe, for me, it's all about recognizing and the willingness to receive what the universe is wanting to give to me.
Ah,
Ooh,
Uh, you
buddy.
know,
yeah.
expansion and growth, it's not something that just comes to you. You have to work at it. It's not like I can sit on the couch and say, all right, I'm expanding. You're not expanding sitting on the couch watching TV.
Only by what you eat.
Yeah. Sophia said it great.
Mhm,
Outside, information comes in from the sunlight. The sun takes
mhm,
in information from the universe and then it distributes to us. So being outside plus Mother Earth is
mhm,
giving you all types of information. So just sitting in your house, not doing anything, you can watch YouTubes, you can read this, that, and the other. And that will help you expand, but getting out into nature, connecting with Mother Earth, connecting with the universe instead of just sitting in your house. You
mhm,
know, that's why
mhm,
I'm always down here at the cabin. I work outside. I'm always connecting. I'm always in fresh air. I'm always getting information from the universe because I'm always in the sunlight. I get
mhm,
down here. I'm connecting with Mother Earth, getting information from her. And that's what helps me in my expansion. We had a lady at group the other night. She's like, I don't have gifts. Well, you know, it was her first time ever at group. It's like her third time ever in the store. Well, she doesn't realize, and I told her, you don't realize you have gifts. It's just finding, exploring,
Mhm.
working to get to where you recognize what gifts you have. And then once you recognize your gifts, it's like, you know I'm not a medium. I can read some tarot cards. My calling is healing. I am
Mm-hmm.
a very, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my calling. And once I learned that, that even helped me expand even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
just,
would say it does. I've been on the receiving end of your
you know,
healing energy, and it is palpable for sure.
you know, best thing to
Mhm.
say is go with the
Very
flow of the
effective.
universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mhm.
And many of us that have that connection to spirit is kind of like an acceleration of that, because you really, it's almost like you've got one foot in the spirit realm and one foot in the day to day. And the
Yep.
balance between the two is like, I wouldn't say it's difficult anymore, Sophia. Is it difficult for you?
It depends on what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm in gear longer, like when I'm working a festival, it changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it varies. I'm
How
always in
did
control, but
how does
it,
yeah. How did the people that you read, how do they change you? Because you come into contact with a lot of different people, a lot of
I
different
do.
scenarios, right? And
Right.
how does that affect you personally on a personal level? How does that
When
expand you
when
in
I
other
have
ways?
the privilege of developing a relationship and a friendship with a sitter, I don't like
Mm-hmm.
the word client, you know.
Mm-hmm.
When I have a privilege of working with somebody and I meet them, because I'm like a urgent care doctor. People generally don't seek people out like me unless something's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and when you see them having a moment, of difficulty and giving what I get because that's my job,
Mhm.
um, and then they come back 3 months later and they're like, "Oh, you're not going to believe it. You were so dead on."
Mm-hmm.
And seeing the
Mm-hmm.
lights come back on and to feel their vibration lift, because
Mm-hmm.
sadness and anger is at the very bottom of the scale, whereas love and joy and whatnot is at the top.
Mhm.
I can feel that. That's how I
Mm-hmm.
know when people are angry or when they're faking it, or I'm dealing with a narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
I finally
Mm-hmm.
figured that one out. But just, it's very humbling to see people their lives transform. And I'm not saying that I have, that it's me that's doing it. It's them. They're
Mm-hmm.
just receiving the truth, like you said
Mhm.
earlier, that source has to say. A lot of what I say doesn't make sense to me, but it's kind of like symbolic charades.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's very cool how it works. But
Yeah.
when they know that they're loved, supported, their ancestors are there, they're excuse me.
You pretty much expand their awareness as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
she does.
Somebody else take the mic. I need a second.
No
Excuse me.
No
problem. I
problem.
gotcha. I got you covered. How about you,
Yeah, I think
Teresa?
what she is spot on. I agree. It's those interrelationships that are at play. We don't always know or understand 100% of the message that we're bringing through for somebody
Mm-hmm.
until that someone says, "Oh my God, that just resonated with me, and here's why."
It's
And
sacred.
at that moment, it becomes a teaching moment where the teacher becomes the student
Mm-hmm.
because we're a conduit. We allow
100%.
and accept that energy to come in from our higher self, which is
Mm-hmm.
a connection to the noetic, which is a connection to the non physical. So we bridge the physical and non physical and deliver to the best of our abilities what we think spirit is trying to communicate to something that you need. But you're the one that interprets and perceives what the meaning and significance is to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you how you absorb or not, or take what you can or what resonates. But it helps expand us too because then we can learn from your response to it.
Mm-hmm.
Something be a teaching moment for us. And by the way, it's often a teaching moment for our guides, and I'll let Lori jump in on that one because we're finding through our experiences that what they're telling us is not what traditionally people tend to think, that they don't think, feel, or have emotions, that they don't care about certain things. That couldn't be further from the truth because they're still expanding in the universal consciousness as well, and they learn from us, right, Lori?
I agree, and I do agree, Scotty. All real teachers never stop being the student,
Right.
and
Yep.
Robert B says, teacher student. I think we're always the students. Then you'll always be the student.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yep. So people
But
are
yeah,
called to teach.
I think what he's saying is, that we're always learning, and yes, we are. But there comes a time when you can turn that around, and you do become a teacher, and you do show people the way, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yep.
that's why we're down here, to evolve
Oh,
and teach each other.
And
Mhm.
Steve agrees. I'm able to be a teacher because I'm always the student. Well, there you go. It's just your perspective.
Yep.
It's how you want to play with the words and the concept. Yep, for sure.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
It's that co-creative aspect.
Exactly.
That
Yep.
interrelationship, symbiosis, codependency, but in a good way, right?
Yep, definitely
It's
agree.
interesting that in Czech it's the same exact word, to teach and to learn. It's the same exact
It's
word.
the same. What is the word?
Cool.
Učit.
Uchit.
What? That sounded like what? Say that again.
Say
Učit. U
Uchit.
ch I T.
Uchit.
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 And that means to teach someone. But if you say like I teach myself, it means I'm learning.
Yeah.
I
Same
see.
word.
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
It's
Interesting,
just
huh?
different context. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it allows you to see it from a different perspective.
hmm
Right.
That's what's really
But
interesting about it.
I think most of us know this by now, but for folks that are hearing this for the first time or still getting into it, there's a certain responsibility that comes with it, and the responsibility is yourself to be open, to not be judgmental, or to not put boundaries around other people or your own belief systems. And I still struggle with that sometimes because I have my knowing. Dag nabbit, I've worked this hard to get here, and this is what I know, and this is what I know now. And so when you hear a
Bend
different
like a
perspective,
tree.
you're like, yeah, you hear a different perspective, and you're like, maybe, and it's like, you have to let that go so that you can get yourself into an accepting mindset that anything's possible.
Anything is
And then the
possible.
paradigm shifts can occur, right?
Right.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you find, or you walk away and you give it a few days or a few minutes, even a few hours, you go, you know what? And you apply it to something in your own life, and you're like, oh, now I know what she was saying, But then don't beat yourself up for being stubborn because that's part of being human. And it's part of ego. But
And
you'll
part of your
learn over time,
programming
right?
too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Steve says, I've been blessed to be a high school teacher for many years. The energy of youth is a powerful force. I absorb it like a sponge. I feel that, Steve. I used to work around a lot of young people, and it always made me feel more connected to
Uh-huh.
youth. And I never really felt my age being around them until I opened my mouth and said something.
Yeah.
From the 80s.
Yeah. Right on, dude. Party on, Garth. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, I was strict. I was
yeah.
strict. Ask my nieces and nephews. Because of the way we were programmed or the way we were raised, children should be seen and not heard. Therefore, if you speak out of sequence or if you speak in opposition to anything that the adults are saying, mind your place. Mind your place, because that's how I was taught. That's why it took me so long to evolve.
Yeah. Children see the truth, though. They see
Yes,
the truth.
seriously.
They know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't bullshit them.
Go ahead, Dalibor.
You can bullshit yourself,
Yeah,
but you can't.
I was a high school teacher too,
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, he
The
was.
calling. No.
yeah,
Briefly,
briefly.
he says briefly.
Yeah, I didn't like it because, I was an English teacher, and English isn't exactly brain surgery. The job didn't challenge me enough.
Hmm.
You couldn't blow anything up, Dalibor?
No,
A science teacher.
no.
Uh-huh. Well,
Yeah,
kids
you should have
will
been a science
expand
teacher.
you exponentially, that's for sure. They will
Yeah.
expand your awareness. They'll test your
Yeah, sometimes a bit
temperament,
too much.
your patience. Yeah. Yeah.
Too much.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know what? More and more of them are coming into this simulation with a understanding, maybe a little less amnesia or a little bit more intuition than I came in with. And so
Mhm.
they challenge you in other ways too, because are you smarter than a fifth grader? When
Depends
you
on
get to the high school level, it's like, oh my God, these are our
Mhm.
future lawyers, doctors, politicians, and it's like they're putting me to shame,
I think they
because
come
they're
in a
coming
lot
in at
more
a
awake
higher.
too. Yeah, they're more
Yeah,
Mhm.
aware coming in nowadays. I would say
Yeah.
even the kids that were born in the '90s with the 2000, they're really got an edge. I was born in the '60s. Teresa, you were born in the '60s. Boy, it was a whole different vibe then, wasn't it? I mean, we had to
Yeah.
really work hard to get. I mean, even
Do
just
you
go ahead.
do you remember our first season early on? We brought in Rocky J. Stucci's son, Rocky Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He
Mm-hmm.
was still in high school. He hadn't graduated high school yet. And he had a profound connectivity with spirituality and his
yeah,
understanding
I
of
remember that.
himself and the
Mm-hmm.
spirit world. And he was just blew me away. And he hadn't, it was 2 years later that he graduated from high school. Now his mother's very intuitive, and Rocky himself is an intuitive empath.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But but still, even though they were raised by parents like that, he himself had a very strong connection, and I was just blown away by that. And so I have a whole new paradigm shift about the younger ones now, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't see them in the way I used to see them. I see them coming in with a whole spectrum of understandings that I never had at that age,
Well, see,
or
Mm-hmm.
was
that
still
part of the
getting.
reason is also technology, because I was born in the '60s too, and we got our first
Yeah.
computer in what 1979, '78. So,
Uh-huh.
and it
Commodore
sucked.
64.
It
Yep.
sucked. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, actually, the
Yeah.
Well,
first one
and
we got was
now kids have
technically,
this. You
well,
just all.
technically speaking, we got one before that. It was the ASR 33 teletype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah. Uh-huh.
remember
I remember
those?
the data entry cards.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Boop boop
and
boop.
the punch tapes. So they
Yeah.
have better access to technology. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever they're interested in, they can become experts in a
Mm-hmm.
relatively short amount of time because they can learn quicker than we can
Mm-hmm.
because their
Also,
brains are more malleable.
yeah, and they have access to the
True.
internet, which allows them access to information. So they have instant access. So if they say,
Hmm.
well, like something simple, like how to spell a word, boop, 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 you type it up. There it is. There's the meaning. There's the synopsis. That's how it's used in a sentence. I mean, all the information is at their fingertips. We had to like remember stuff. We had to
I got
remember
the
Yep.
word.
phone numbers.
I got the
Yeah.
word we're looking for. Britannica. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I had to go
Britannica.
to an encyclopedia to get any kind of information or
That's what
Wikipedia.
they are. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you just,
Yeah.
it was a whole different ball game back
Gotta look
then.
it
But
up.
hey, if you grow with the technology, then you expand. You learn how to use
Yeah.
it. You learn that
Yeah.
it's a tool that you can use. And those are the types of things we're talking about for expansion spiritually in your day to day life, anything you're doing. Every day you get up and you enjoy a day, you've expanded because
Yep.
something new is in your life that you didn't have the day before. And that's a good way to look at it. You're always moving forward, always walking into the future by just
Yeah.
being who you are. And it's a choice to be who you want to be. Do you want to be a kind, compassionate person, or do you want to be just a straight up asshole? That's entirely your choice. Am I right, Sophia?
Some people are
Yeah.
better at it than others, so challenge yourself and be nice.
Yes. Yes. Go ahead, Teresa.
I just noticed, first of all, Shannon the Wise April Fool. I haven't seen you in a long time. Welcome. Welcome
Hi,
to our
Shannon.
chat room. And I love what she's saying here because until you've walked in the shoes of a kindergartner teacher, you don't know life.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
for
a tough
sure.
one.
Rough.
Both Teresa and I
You
have
know?
driven school bus, and if you can drive a school
Yeah,
bus with 70 screaming kids from all
yeah,
ages and all attitudes, from all walks of life, I get you,
yeah.
Shannon. I get you.
And I've
No, thank
homeschooled
you.
2 or 3 at a time, but the various different ages. But I once tried to do some daycare with 2 or 3 little ones at the same time, and uh, you know, it's tricky. It's tricky, but they are smart these days. I'm telling you,
Mm-hmm.
tuned
Hmm.
in. They are tuned in. They'll
Kids are
ask
great.
you questions. I even had a 4-year-old say to me, "Namaste." Where
Ah,
did you get that? You know, I'm like, okay, so
Mhm.
she must have come out of one of the cartoons she was watching, but she made the connection and
Mm-hmm.
understood that I had given her a teaching moment and respected that teaching moment. And so she responded with namaste. And then she turned around and taught me something.
Mm-hmm. The God in
And
me
it's
sees
all
the
on
God in
video.
you. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes,
Yep.
Mhm.
That's
yes.
pretty cool.
That's very
Yeah.
cool.
Cool. Awesome.
Digging it.
Hey, Claudette.
All right.
Yep, good to see everybody. Definitely. Any questions in chat? You guys got some questions for us? That would be great. Mm-mm-mm.
While they're formulating it, I do have one thing I'd like to, in the YouTube description, we hinted at it as well. Part of
Mm-hmm.
expansion is once you develop a certain, I want to see what other people say about this. I want to hear what everybody thinks about this.
Okay.
I perceive right now, I'm perceiving consciousness in a lot of different ways. There's a spectrum. I see consciousness as a wide spectrum, and
Mm-hmm.
there's many perceptions and explanations of it. But the two that I resonate, I feel like I exist in two um, planes of existence: my true self, which is in spirit world, and
Mm-hmm.
then the physical waking world, which is during our physical awareness. And so we have the physical mind and the physical body, and all of those functionings just to survive and learn experiences. But it's in the spiritual realm where I receive the information that I need to process. And it could be memories, it could be vivid dreams, lucid dreams, it could involve astral travel, whatever it is. Higher self is always trying to communicate me through that non-conscious, subconscious, or what Dolores Cannon called the superconscious mind, which is in the spirit realm. And then it brings that knowledge and information back to your attention in the physical world so that you can look at situations and respond to things in a way that serves your purpose and your higher goals, that doesn't bring you down, doesn't depress you, cause anxiety or tension. It enables you to respond and navigate to all the things that are happening in your physical reality, which to me is a simulation that I created, helped co create with the rest of the spirit
Mm-hmm.
world, so that
Yeah.
we could experience and learn of these emotions and grow from them. But it's a symbiotic relationship, but it's when you're asleep at night, when everything is shut down in the body, that the spirit is free to roam through these different realms and dimensions of consciousness that tap into some of your memories. They tap into current things that you're trying to solve or issues that you're trying to face. And so I see us as coexisting, and what we do is we balance the two worlds, that space of spirit versus that space of physicality, and we bring it together in such a way that it elevates the way we think and how we approach things. And that's how the universe works, and that's how we expand. One way in which we
Mm-hmm.
expand, which is very important because it enables us to tap into that higher self.
Mm-hmm.
What do you all think about that? Go ahead, Sophia.
Sophia?
100%. Meditate, because that's the subconscious as well. That's why
Yeah.
we travel when we sleep. But meditation, you can do the same thing. It's just a different approach, but highly
Mm-hmm.
recommended to expand and unfold. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that you said it really well, Teresa. I think it's when you sleep that you get the most amount of information, at least the important information that you need for your life. through your
Mhm.
dreams, also through the thoughts that you have immediately when you wake up. Like sometimes I'll wake up and I'll remember a song that I haven't heard in like 30
Yes.
years. It
Uh-huh.
happens to me quite a bit. Uh,
Uh-huh.
it's also important to be able to remember your dreams, and one of the ways you can do that is by niacin. Vitamin B3 will
Ah.
increase your ability to remember dreams. So try it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Get the non-flushing. If you're gonna do niacin, you got to do non-flushing, because if you take too much niacin, I had some that had like the pour it in the drink, right? Refresh.
Hmm.
Niacin
Mm-hmm.
will make you flush, so you
Yeah,
start thinking maybe you're going through menopause. So get
yeah.
non-flushing.
Oh,
It
you
was
don't want that,
horrible. I
Delabor.
didn't know
Trust
what was
me.
going on.
No, I got the regular one with the flush reaction, so I know
Yeah,
what that's like.
it's not
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's not, but I'm used to it.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
take
Well,
it every day.
when we sleep at night, our body is busy resting because it's rejuvenating for the next day. So you
Right.
are
Right.
always, each and every evening, when you do go to sleep, you're out of the body. You are in the etheric realms. You're all over the place because your spirit mind, the part, that spiritual part of you never rests. It never sleeps, and it goes on and on and on.
On
And
and
when
on
you
and
drop
on.
the body, you're still pure consciousness, continually experiencing experiences.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What
Chat made a good
Sophia?
point. Chat, there's a couple comments in chat
Mhm.
that
Okay.
Go ahead,
anything that
chat.
yeah, anything that has to do with water,
Mm-hmm.
that is was conductive. It's like I was on a cruise ship and we had a couple spirits, like full body situation, and being on the water, it's easier for them. It's like when there's a thunderstorm or a heavy downpour, it's easier for spirit to manifest because there's more energy other than us and our objects that they
Mm-hmm.
can use. So yeah.
This is fascinating. You just triggered something for me, and this is
Yay.
really cool. That's a cute little laugh you have, by the way. Um,
Thanks.
I was talking to my
Impish.
guide. This is cute. I was talking to my guide, and I had this curious question, and I said, "Spirit, do you see in color?" And they said, "No." And I thought that was fascinating. So later, throughout the day, I'm just kind of doing the mundane things. And this came to me that they see things in a pixelation, kind of like remember when TV first came out and it was, black or white and grayscale, and it would pixelate and you could see the picture. That's exactly how he described how they see us. So I'm like, so you can see me in the room, you see all the items in the room, yada yada. He's like, yeah, but it's more of a pixelated vibrational thing. But yes, we can
Yeah.
see that, but we do not see color because we are pure light. So we only
Right.
know pure light and dark. Those are the two contrasts that they have to work with. And I just
Mm-hmm.
thought that was fascinating. Go ahead, Sophia.
I had someone tell me that a color of an object is actually the light ray that it's rejecting. Has
Ooh, now
anybody else heard
Hmm.
that?
Oh
Ooh.
yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
This
Okay.
is true.
interesting.
So it's like if
Hmm.
you look at something and it looks orange because it's rejecting that
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
spectrum.
reflecting orange, which
And
Yeah.
it's
means that it's in
perception.
reality, its true
Hmm.
color is the opposite of orange.
Yeah. Or like
Isn't that
how a bee
wild?
sees a flower. They don't necessarily see the same color that we see it. They see a different
Right.
vibration of that color.
Is it
Yeah.
Yeah.
ultraviolet? Do they see an ultraviolet?
Yeah, something to that
Hmm.
effect. Yeah. And it's completely
Well,
different. So
in
yellow may
spirit,
look like white to them.
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And in spirit, I was having a chat with one of my guys about it too. And it's like in spirit, well, Nathaniel,
Hmm.
he talked to both of us about it. Turns out that was another synchronicity. We
Hmm.
didn't know each one was talking about the same issue with our
We go to
guide.
share that and we're like, oh yeah,
We
I
got to,
was already
oh my
talking to
God.
spirit about that.
I don't know why, but
Hmm.
we were. And so
Hmm.
I think it was something that G sent me in a video about whether or not white is a color or black is a color, smoking a G. But anyway, since they don't have this, they don't have the physicality that we have, so we have to have a way of navigating through this simulated environment. And so we have human eyes. And so, but plants and certain types of plants, bacteria, I believe, Max, correct me if I'm wrong, Max Delabert, but some bacteria operates on the same way plant life operates, which is through photosynthesis. So there are certain chemicals or body secretions that we have, and I'll keep it clean. There are body secretions that are pure white. They don't reflect any kind of color. And in the same way, the spirit, which is in the plasma environment and also in the cosmos, and as we perceive the cosmos to be, they too don't reflect light that same way. So they come off as bright white. So when we have visions of angels, so many of us see white, pure bright white, or columns of bright white, or orbs that are very bright and brilliant. They're either clear or they're white. And so they explain to me that that's how they reflect, is the absence of color. And when they look at us, as Lori was saying, what they see are variations of gray. They see
the only
variations
beings
of
that are
gray or
Well,
black.
this is interesting, real quick. I'm divorced, but my mother-in-law came to me in a dream. She was a florist and showed me unbelievable flowers in the dream. That's your brain's perception of the
Yeah.
color, that because you know color. But from what I'm talking about is my guides, the higher beings, the archangels. I'm dealing with archangels when I talk about spirit. So I don't always just mean, someone who has passed. I'm talking about really advanced beings. And this is how they see. So I don't doubt that you didn't see the color, or that you did see the color. I'm sure you did from your perspective. Yes. I'm sorry,
but
Delaware. Go ahead. I just had to say that.
yeah, like I was gonna say, the only beings that are like pure white are mushrooms, and most bacteria. You were referring to bacteria are actually plants, and a significant subsection of those bacteria are actually mycobacteria, namely mushrooms, one-celled mushrooms, basically. So, um, uh, I forget exactly what I was going to tie that in with, but since you were talking about that, Teresa.
Yeah. And the other thing is you know how we're always seeing photographs of space? Like, look what's behind us right now, the colors.
Yeah.
Okay. That's because human perception. When you take the space telescopes out there, they don't have as much color. They're enhanced because this is the human experience wants to see. They do it to contrast different types of energy, different types of chemicals and minerals. And so they use dyes and these x-rays when they're out there with the satellites taking pictures. And it's very beautiful. I have my whole bedroom lit up sometimes with it. I have a little projector, so it's very pretty, but it helps us to distinguish between different types of minerals and so forth. But what the human eye actually perceives in space isn't that way. Talk to anybody who's done any kind of a space exploration through a telescope. I very rarely ever see reds and blues, but I do pick up hints of it because they're reflecting back a certain amount of light that's being given off by a chemical or by a mineral. And my human eye can detect just a little bit of color like blue, usually, sometimes some orange or red. But it's not as colorful as it appears to be in paintings or in these graphic representations, because space is mostly darkness. There's a lot more void in space than there is matter. So what we've
A
measured
lot of
so
dark
far,
matter.
there's a lot of dark matter, and there's a lot of darkness, and so there's not a lot of reflecting, and there's many hundreds of thousands of miles of distance between different bodies or planets. When they're closest together and there's a sun involved, you see a little bit more color as a human. So in the spirit realm, since the cosmos is an outward reflection of what's our inner cosmos, naturally what we see is color or perceive color, but they are not in that restriction of a physical reality like we are. So the way it was explained to me is that they don't see color. They see
Yeah,
very
but
grays and blacks. Yeah.
yeah, I
And
mean,
everything's pixelated, like Lori said.
I find that difficult to believe for the very simple reason that everything is frequency, and different colors of
Uh-huh.
light are just different frequencies of light.
There you
But
go.
they're claiming they don't have physical form like we do.
Sure.
So
To
when they're
perceive that light.
saying, yeah, they don't
Mhm.
Hmm.
perceive, they don't have the eyeballs that we have with all the different light cells and mirrors in them. So they
Hmm.
don't. Now that's not to say that there aren't other beings out there that have some form of
Anything is
vision.
possible. Hmm.
Yeah,
Anything.
because what we can see from the electromagnetic spectrum is so small that if you were to take the electromagnetic spectrum and spread it out between New York and Chicago, we only see a 6-inch section of that.
Tell
Hmm.
it.
That's it.
Well, look at animals who see in black and white, but they can also perceive spirit quite easily. Like a cat is very good at perceiving.
Oh, sure.
So
Or
it's
guinea
just the
pigs.
lens you're
Yeah.
looking through. Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Jackie J. Good to see you. Yeah. Fascinating
Yeah.
stuff. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
We're almost to an hour. Did you have anything else, Teresa?
There's an area of expansion that Dolores Cannon mentioned that I was listening to earlier today, and I shared the video with you, and she was giving 9 signs of, of ways it could tell
Mm-hmm.
how you expand and how you grow
Uh-huh.
from it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of those areas had to do with um, something she called, uh, it has to do with solitude. That just as we work together like this in an exchange of information and a sharing of perceptions and no rights, no wrongs, just different perceptions and sharing those experiences of applying different things in our lives, we find great expansion in solitude. And there's something to be said for that because during the holidays, people may have noticed I kind of shut down. And I go through that every holiday season. I have my reasons for it. But I had numerous reasons this time. And I just shut down and I was in minimal contact with people. But I used that time
I call it
for
hermiting.
inner hermiting. Yeah, I was hermiting. And it was really productive and expansive because I was able to study some things that I had put on the shelf and just left behind a while ago and hadn't gotten back to. And I fell in love with certain activities that I used to really enjoy and didn't for the longest time. But I went back to them and I said, oh, this is why I used to do this. This is fun. And so I spent a lot of time expanding myself in ways that not only emotionally made me feel good, but intellectually also stimulated me with certain questions. And I was connected to Lori. I'm always connected with Lori. And I shot certain things out her way and she shot things my way. And even though we both had our own things that we were doing, we were still connecting. But it was very expansive. So being quiet with yourself, I mean, it was like a pin drop around here. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
family hanging around it during the
Mm-hmm.
holidays anymore. I'm alone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just me and the dog. I don't even have close neighbors that I'm close to anymore because they've all moved around. So you find that getting to know yourself in that solitude again,
Mm-hmm.
falling in love again with who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and saying
And
these are the
being
things
okay
that
with
are
it.
and being okay with the things that you're
Mm-hmm.
not, that you're still uncomfortable, and being okay with the things that you're still uncomfortable about, but they come to the forefront
Mm-hmm.
as something that you need to address. And so without that solitude, I may have just kept on going in a direction that I didn't want to go, but this enabled me to focus. And so it's through the focus that you find the balance or the things that you like or don't like, and you can fall in love with yourself all over again. And you can fall in love with the things that you really enjoy that really bring you higher vibration. So, in other words, folks, loneliness is not necessarily a bad thing.
Mhm.
And don't think of it as the word loneliness. Think of it as solitude.
The
Well,
halls of
lone has
immensity.
one in it. Lonely, lone has one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So it's okay to be in that space, even if it's for a few weeks. It's okay to be there. It's not, you don't have to feel like, oh, people are going to think I'm depressing, or the heck with what the hell anybody else thinks. What are
Yeah.
you going to do with your time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, get back to some artwork that you really wanted to do. It doesn't have to be about being on display all the time or interacting with other people. Sometimes it's just having chit chats with your higher self
Mm-hmm.
and laying out things you like and things you don't like. And what do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish? I would say this, though, don't
Mm-hmm.
put anything on paper that you have to commit to. Just go with the flow. The ideas will come. And they could be something great and it might inspire you and it might excite you. And I got something I got really, really excited about. So it's time to,
Yeah.
to do that, to take the time to do that,
Mm-hmm.
meditate.
Try to enjoy life a little bit more than
Yeah.
stressing over every little thing. It just doesn't do you
Yeah.
any good. It's no fun. And that's that
Oh,
old cliche, life is what you make it. Yeah, go ahead.
that's right. And also, two of our brothers
Mm-hmm.
talking about the same thing. Dalibor was talking about change
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
expansion from change not always being good. And Lucky
Mm-hmm.
Stone did a video. I think it was either today or yesterday. Lucky Stone did a video about change. He says it's not always joyful, but
Mm-mm.
there's always something positive that you can grow and get out of expansion.
It's
So
the
sometimes in
catalyst.
this yeah, so that's another area. It's not just solitude, but change. And that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing I learned last year, you guys. Things change rapidly. And I
Ooh, on
used
a
to run
dime.
from change or
Mm-hmm.
resist change.
Yeah.
And now
Embrace it.
I'm starting
Embrace
embracing
it.
it.
Mm-hmm.
hmm It might not always seem to be good at first, but sometimes even the things that aren't so beneficial teach us something. And
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that helps us,
Yeah,
right?
Courtney, I love that. My dad taught me to
Mhm.
not take life so seriously or we'll lose the point. Do enjoy. I
Yeah,
love that. That
it's
is
perfect.
wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Dalibor, did you mentioned something that change isn't always positive. Well, it's not, but you said you don't grow from things that aren't positive because not all change is
Exactly.
good.
Yeah, yeah, because
Um,
most life is struggle, right? And the
mhm,
more you've lived, the more experiences you have, the more wisdom you accumulate. That only comes through struggle and victory.
right.
So, and the more victories that you can line up, whether they be easy ones or difficult ones, doesn't really matter. The better for you.
So you can expand from
Sure.
changes that aren't good.
Oh yeah, you expand more from those
Okay.
changes that aren't good. You know, like
Okay.
a negative experience. Oh hell yeah! I mean, your life experience is basically a series of wounds. You know, it's the
hmm
wounds that
Right.
define you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was going off of your comment on the YouTube channel, and I was like, I don't think he means that. I think he means it's still expansive. But yeah, there are a lot of people though who think that, oh my God, oh, I've just been thrown into financial chaos and I'm over here and I really wanted to be there and now I'm doing this job that sucks and life sucks and I've had all these changes happen to me. Everything has changed me and my life sucks and it's upside down and so I'm not learning or expanding or growing. And therefore I'm not happy.
Well, yeah,
That's a mindset.
Yep.
And it might very well be everything is true and you're very justified in feeling the way you do. I've been there. I have been to the bottom of the barrel on that. I've cried my heart out at times. When you get to that higher mind, when you get to the openness of spirit and you're in connection with your higher self, you start to change and the paradigms change so that you see the possible outcomes, so that you can respond in a more uplifting way. So even if what's changed around you isn't good, you can still step up and take responsibility to flip that script through your attitude. That's what I do. And
Mm-hmm.
I start reconditioning, remapping my human mind. I remap the human mind by asking the higher self to step in and coach that human physical mind
Need a little
into
help
thinking
here.
about things. I need help
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
understanding what's the value of this and what's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Sophia, you have a comment. Well
Yeah,
said, Teresa. Well said.
yes, well said. Agreed. My dad had a saying, when
Mhm.
life would wound me, he's like, you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd, but you can be happy if you have a mind to.
Mhm.
And I would just
Mhm.
look at him and shake my head like,
That's
oh
great.
man, really?
I love
That's what
that.
you got for this? And he's
That's
like,
What you got
wonderful.
for me?
you can't roller skate in a buffalo herd, but you can be
That's
happy if you
great.
have a mind
It's
to.
true.
I don't know where he got that off of. See, all my best material is commandeered, and I think I got
Mhm.
that honest. But
You
love
came
that
by it
old man.
honestly.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
snickering.
but it's great. It's a great expression of truth.
Mhm. Yeah, it really truly is. Yeah.
Yep, yep. Love
Final
you guys.
thoughts, folks. We're coming to the end of the show. Grandpa Brian, I'll start with you tonight. Final thoughts?
Well, at first, I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody.
Yeah.
We're going into a universal year 8,
That's
which
right.
is all about abundance,
Mm-hmm.
work, and balance. So connect with the universe, do the work. If you do the work, you will expand.
Mhm.
And expansion that will help bring balance into your life. So just this is a year to do it. And that expansion could also, the abundance doesn't also mean financial, it can mean spiritual abundance.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah,
put your mind to
absolutely.
what you want this year, put the
Or a
work
healthy
in,
abundance, good
and bring
health.
balance to your life.
Mhm.
Well
I
said, Bob.
love that. Well said on
Mhm.
that. Yeah. Think about that, will you? Delabor, final thoughts?
Well, in this coming year, we have 2024, right? Except
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling it 24 AI, and AI being short for Anno Interneti, the year of our internet.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of in the year of our Lord, it's the year of
Mm-hmm.
our internet.
Cute. Very cute.
So I wish everybody a happy and prosperous year
Mm-hmm.
24 AI.
Nice. Nice. I love
Like it.
that.
Right
Thank
on.
you.
Uh-huh.
Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Teresa, final thoughts?
No, I think I pretty much summed it up. I think I've said enough. I just my final thoughts is finding gratitude and appreciation for what you've got
Mm-hmm.
far outweighs the things that you think you're lacking or you don't have. And I have found that out last year too.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to get to that, folks, because I've been dealing with stuff for a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
I finally realized I'm so much more fortunate than 90% of the other people I know. I mean, I've got a lot of issues, but I've got a lot of
Lot to be thankful for.
positive things. So much to be thankful for,
Mm-hmm.
particularly this community that we're part of here virtually. Look
Mm-hmm.
at what we've done with this technology to put it to our higher purpose.
Yeah. Brings a
Yeah,
lot of people together
here.
from different areas of the country, the world. I mean,
Hmm.
Delabor is in Germany.
Yeah,
Grandpa Brian,
Yep.
you and
yeah,
Sophia are in Indiana. Teresa's in
hmm yeah.
Maryland.
Damascus, Maryland. I'm
But
in
think
Reno,
about
Nevada.
this.
I'm on the West Coast.
Think about this. What would
Mm-hmm.
happen? What would happen if it all went away and we didn't have the technology?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to tell you that we have enough skills and enough spiritual connections between us to
Mm-hmm.
stay connected no matter what. And even if it's only in thought and in our heart space
Mm-hmm.
and in our vibration, we still have mail. We have mail. We have
Mm-hmm.
cards and letters. We can still stay in contact. Just because this virtual thing were to go away doesn't mean we can't write to one another. It doesn't mean we can't make copies of journal entries and send them to our friends or call someone on a telephone. Okay?
It's
So
not
the
going
point,
away.
No,
it's not
I
going,
was just
yeah,
gonna
It's
say,
not going.
Delabor.
it's
Yeah,
It's
not,
it's
not
not
it's
going
gonna
not,
away.
but I'm
happen.
just saying
Mm-mm.
that's what people fear though. They fear that this is just Yet another game, yet
It's
another
not, it's
simulation.
not going away because they won't be able to keep tabs on us otherwise.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes too
Right.
much money.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
then
But
I
the
would say
point
the
that
internet
you,
has expanded us.
yeah,
It has expanded,
exactly.
but
And
it's
that's the
also
point I'm
constructed
trying to
us.
make here, whether it goes away or not. I was just using that as an example. But the point that I'm trying to actually make
Uh-huh.
is that look at what we have done with our interconnectiveness with each other.
Yes. Yes.
We have built trust.
Mm-hmm.
We have built respect and friendships
Mm-hmm.
that will last for eternity.
Mm-hmm.
They will. We
Yeah.
might not see each other for long periods of time. I miss Trina. She used to come on the show all the time. She's
Mhm.
got all these things going on. Robert invited us onto his show the other night. I couldn't make it. We
Mm-hmm.
can't always connect this way,
Yeah.
but when we do, we get quality out of it. I hope you all feel that way in chat. You get something out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a feeling of love and respect and appreciation and camaraderie at a
Mhm.
higher mind level too, which continues that vibration and continues that growth. So stay in touch with each other as best you can, even if you can't always hook up this way. There's other ways to do it. And never forget, we're here for one another. We've got each other's back,
Mm-hmm.
and we've developed this environment, and anyone can join and participate in it because there's no judgment here. Just
Yeah.
friendship
No
and love.
judgment. Mm-hmm. Friendship,
Just
love,
friendship and love.
trust,
Okay?
being honest. Yeah, it's all good. No doubt about it.
Take that into the new year with you because
Yes.
that's like having a sword in your hand for all the shit that's coming down the pike.
Mhm.
Let it roll
Mhm.
because we've got
Definitely.
each other and we've
Yes,
got
we do.
source.
Yes, we do.
Right.
And we have source. Yes. Beloved Abstract, thank you for the compliment. I love that. Thank you. All right. Well, you guys, we will see you next week. Watch for the trailer. You'll get a good indication of what we're going to be talking about. And this
Yep.
one's going to be pretty powerful. I'm excited
Catch
about it.
Max Vision. Check out Max
Yep.
Vision. Check him out
Yes.
tonight and Robert
Yep.
tomorrow night. Okay?
Robert B. Milky Way Soul
Yep.
Tribe. Yep. Don't forget him. I'm sure you won't.
Courtney.
Courtney. Yep. Courtney has her show as well. So yeah, share the love, you guys. Like and
Yeah.
subscribe to those channels, and
Lucky. Oh my God, Lucky's got some great
Lucky
stuff
as well.
going on.
Yeah.
Please
Love
watch
his little
his channel.
shorts.
Please.
Yeah. He brings a lot to the table, so he's sharing
Yeah,
his
he
knowledge
does.
and understanding, and I love that. I
Yep.
did catch a little bit of Milky Way with Delaney on there, and I think Zigzag Zelda was on there. So, yeah, supporting and loving the Soul Tribe, you guys. Thank you for being here
Yeah.
tonight. Thank you all for being in chat. Hope your year is going well. Ours sure is. And we look forward to next week. Until then,
All right.
enjoy your now, and we sure will. And love and joy for all. Thank you. Live
Later.
long
Love you
and
guys.
prosper.
Be
Yeah.
safe. Be healthy. Be healthy.
Bye, y'all.